The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff,
Monday, the 15th day of May, 2023. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medicals, and Lindos. I'm Jamal Hartman. She's Sancha Durham, and Maya Palacio will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in her news break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Sister Sancha, happy belated Mother's Day to you. Happy belated Mother's Day to everyone who celebrates. And come on, give it to me. How was the weekend?
I did nothing. No, actually, so for Mother's Day, I did nothing. I got a manicure, a pedicure, and then I came home and watched Queen Charlotte. Is that what it's called?
What's that? Netflix show?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That was my afternoon. Nothing else. But Friday and Saturday, I went up to Relay for Life, and oh my God, it was amazing.
Yeah.
The energy, I know that we're raising funds to help support the fight in cancer, but I'm not like from what I saw, it was also healing people, like the survivors that were there that were receiving the energy to celebrate the fact that they were actually healing. You know, even just having that support system of a group of people that yes, we have all lost someone cancer, but we can get through this together and share our experiences. And how do you get through it? Or you can share stories about those people that you've lost. It was just the energy was amazing,
It was at Nationals again?
Nas- national, but on the Cricket Pavilion.
Cricket Pavilion side, okay.
There every
Yeah.
year. And it was lots of entertainment. It was my son Maddox wanted to sleep over. Oh my goodness, the fight of why can't we sleep over? And I'm like, I'm tired, I'm cold.
I'm with you, player. You see fun, you don't want to miss out on any of it.
So next year we will have a team and we will sleep over and do the whole thing. Yeah.
Maddox has got a good group of people rooting for him. Remember that, folks. It was on May 15th that Sister Sanchez said that next year, Maddox and them, they'd be allowed to sleep over. We're going to hold you to it.
We will.
All right. And good morning to you, Karen Simmons in Rhode Island. And I'm going to get all in your business. What you doing in my stomping ground? That's my home. I mean, second home. Sorry.
Away from home.
Yeah,
That's your
yes.
second or your third home. Which one?
I mean, true, because yeah. Okay. Third home. Yeah. Third home. Yeah. Happy belated Monday. Happy Monday, Jamal and Sacha, and happy belated Mother's Day to all the TDH mothers and mothers in the audience. Tanya Cheeseman, thank you so much. And greetings, everyone. Thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today. We're going to discuss what's needed to change our behaviors on the road. I know we've discussed previously how can we encourage better, driving habits. What can we do to get people to be a bit more considerate? But I think the behaviors is a different question because and we got a lot of responses on Instagram, which were very interesting, Sancha. I think a couple of them may make us think a bit differently. Not change our minds necessarily. The Daily Play is a Who Said It. So don't forget to subscribe also on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Sancha, did you get an email from the Daily Hour yesterday?
I did.
Okay. So I'm just going to share for those of you who have refused for whatever reason to, basically subscribe to the website, here's what you missed. One time and one time only. So what the email said, it said quite a few things, but this is about how you can win one of 2 remote controls for AC units. They are compatible with all males and models and can be either mounted on a wall or not. So here's how you can win. All right, ready, folks? Here's how you can win. The first way to win is TDH community members. You have to be one, either through our YouTube channel or have registered on our website, which is right up top of the website underneath the picture. You'll automatically be entered into the draw. So you'll have to watch and listen to the entire show, every show from start to finish. We'll say a name during that show. You'll have 60 seconds to respond here in the comments. If you do so, you'll receive a gift voucher for one of our partners and be entered to win the grand prize, which will be announced on May 25th. So that's the first way. Again, if you have the email, it sounds like a lot. It's not. But if you subscribe, you'll have it all in email. The second way you can win, you have to be eligible to win, is follow us on Instagram. When you see anything posted relating to this giveaway, you're encouraged to like, share, and comment here. All right. We'll announce one of our most engaging followers as the winner on May 25th. All right. So those are the 2 ways that you can win. Again, folks, you should have received it. Traveling Charlie, you did your homework. She received her email.
Yeah.
Karen Simmons says, my stomping ground first, Jamal, J. Wu alum as well. Oh, I had no idea. My niece university in New Hampshire and daughter's graduation in Bristol, Rhode Island. Bristol, Rhode Island. Did she go to Roger Williams, Karen Simmons? And yes, you got your email too. So everyone got their email. I didn't get my email, I don't think.
I think everyone needs to sign up for emails because that was a lot of instructions. That's something that you need to sit down and read. So sign up for the email.
Yeah. I'm literally, Sandra, checking because I don't remember receiving the email myself. And I know I'm subscribed, Sandra. What else the email said, folks, is Sir John Swan will be back on Friday. I don't think I received the email. It was yesterday. At what time you think?
You need to check your junk mail, Jamal.
The Daily Hour email should not be going to junk mail. If they're going to junk mail, then you know what, Sandra, you might be right. Let me check my junk mail. They should not be going to. It was yesterday. You know what time?
Yesterday.
No, I don't see it.
Yesterday, I have it up at 1:08.
Oh, so
maybe you're not. Are you not subscribed?
Yeah, I'm subscribed to it. That's what I'm saying. What this is not good. All right, so I'm gonna see why I didn't receive the email because I should be in the runnings. So folks, yes, Roger Williams University. My cousin went there in Rhode Island. All right, I had no idea that we had a fellow J. Wu alum in the crowd. So folks, 106, you should have received the email. Unfortunately, somebody got an email. Sherry Vanderpool got one, and then Daphne yesterday. So Kathy Rogers received it, and Jackie Eve received it. So I'm the only one that didn't receive the email, Sandra.
I don't know, maybe because she sent it. I don't know.
No, it didn't come from me. Like I should have gotten it. Anyway, folks.
No, homework.
Yeah, I've got to find out why I'm not receiving the TD. Because if I'm not receiving, that means some of our other family members are not receiving them. And
look at it this way: it gives people a chance to sign up, so that the event that you send it out again, they can receive it.
This is true, Sandra. This is true, and I'm gonna subscribe today to the dailyhour.com so that I don't come across like, what do they call those people? Hypocrites. Yeah, I don't want to be called one of those. No. Those, we leave those for the politicians. But anyway, Sandra, we had an unfortunate weekend, very unfortunate, despite the excitement, honoring mothers and just time off for some people. We unfortunately woke up to tragic news on Sunday. And one of the voice notes I got was someone saying, look, despite Maya's constant pleas and, you guys on a daily hour always speaking about this. It seems like nothing changes. And my honest response off the top of my head is nothing changes if people don't, right? We can talk about things, all the solutions in the world, right? We can have as many conversations as we want, but we have to change our behaviors regardless of what it is we're speaking about. We can't keep saying that smoking's an issue, right? And then continue smoking and impacting other people's health in the process. We have to change those behaviors. If we know it's an issue, then we need to cut back, or at least doing it around people that are impacted by what we're doing. So I think the question, if you follow us on Instagram, which I'm sure all of you do, the question on our Instagram page was, what will it take to change behavior on our roads? Like, I know people like to think, and this may be the old conservative, maybe you feel this way, Sancho. A lot of people say, oh, make the penalties harsher. And I'm quite sure I did some research some years ago about the death penalty, that the death penalty didn't result in less murders. You know what I'm saying? My point is, harsher penalties don't necessarily change behavior, because people committing the behaviors do not believe that they'll be, and you know what I'm saying? They don't think it'll happen to them. So is that really a way of doing it? So anyway, question of the morning: what will it take to change behavior on our roads? And before I say anything else, I just want to send sincere, love, condolences, and comfort and healing to the family of the person that we lost this weekend. We don't have details about what happened beyond what's in the media right now, but I'll say this much, on Mother's Day, to get a call on Mother's Day, I can only imagine how that mother will forever remember this weekend. And I think, Maya put something on her social media yesterday, and I've said it for years now, obviously last year being the first Mother's Day without my mother. I think we need to be extremely considerate when we do say these things like Happy Mother's Day and so on, without forgetting that there's a mother without their child. There are children without their mothers. There are people who, these days don't necessarily bring the warmth and the excitement that it brings to all. So just being a bit more considerate as we reflect and try to celebrate some, thinking about those who may not feel as joyous on the day. So again, the question of the morning is, what will it take to change behavior on our roads? Sancha, I know you've probably got
I do. I actually, Jamal, I come from a slightly, when we talked about this yesterday, what we were going to talk about today, my mind instantly went to, there are so many things outside of our behaviors that have changed that I also feel as if is contributing to this issue. When we look at how many vehicles are on the road at the moment, there are the I just saw the ship come in. I'm like, more cars. At what point we do a study on our roads to say, okay, this is how many vehicles our roads can actually handle. Back in the day, it used to be one assessment number to each household. Households have multiple apartments now that have multiple assessment numbers, which are putting multiple, vehicles on the road. It's increased tremendously. Our road conditions are horrible at this point. So can you imagine driving at night? During the day it's difficult, so now we're talking about driving at night, with horrible road conditions. Our vehicles have more horsepower. It's a fact. Like, times have changed, vehicles are faster now. Even from the one thing that I say with behaviors that need to change is our willingness to drive a vehicle after having drinks. I was up, I was getting food the other day. I'm not even going to call the establishment's name. And, there's a bar attached to where I was ordering my food. When I walked in, I want to say 85% of the people that were sitting at the bar had a car parked outside. And my thought is just like, it is so normal for us to go and say, we're just going to have one and get in our car and drive. We have to. And I think that the responsibility should really start coming on the companies such as to call, like the alcohol companies, let's say Bacardi and Gosling's, and how about they have something within their budget, a percentage in their budget that is going to contribute to getting people home safely?
I think boroughs like Bourne used to do that. I'm not sure if they do.
I think they used to. I don't know what's
I don't.
happening.
Yeah.
I don't see it anymore now.
hmm
So
hmm
I think that this is something that, everyone's indulging, everyone is
hmm
supporting your business. I think
hmm
that's a give back. It's a reach back. And I know I'm calling people out.
hmm
It's a reach back that I think that there has to be some sort of program to keep people safe.
Mm-hmm. No, I don't disagree with you. I think if and I don't want to quote her wrongly, but she'll be on the show later this week. I think Danielle Painter might have said it on the show. The idea is to taste the different flavor, not to get drunk. You know what I'm saying? It's about taste. But I'm going to be honest with you. It's self-discipline, and I don't have self-discipline. Again, I'm not talking about alcohol for me, but let's use a bag of chips, for instance. You got a big bag of chips. I'm that person who would eat the whole bag of chips. That's my self-discipline. Not like I have to get the small bag because I know that if I get the big bag, I'm going to eat more than I probably should. I think there are people who have that issue with alcohol, right? I think there are people who's like, look, they're out to dinner. I ordered the bottle of wine. I'm gonna finish the bottle of wine. I can't take it with me, right? But I think there's the cultural aspect, and I think this is why many people call it a cultural epidemic, because
It is.
I know we joke around about it. I know we have this song, Bermudians love to drink. I know our holidays are built around incorporating alcohol in them some way. Folks, I'm not saying this just because I don't consume alcohol regularly or at all at this point in my life. I'm saying this because I've always believed it. We have got to stop believing and accepting that it is a part of who we are. It's not. We've made it a part of who we are, but it's not a part of who we are. I've had Rashida Godwin, who does Titan Tours and speaks about Black history a lot. She has actually delved deep with me in terms of how alcohol was used against enslaved people. And when you start to think about the history and so on, you may take a different take. Someone said last week on Twitter, what else is there to do for fun in Bermuda outside of drinking? And people named a few things, right? And I was just like, the fact that anyone's asking this question tells you that even though there may be other things to do, it is a concern. It's something but it's something that we've embraced. It's something we've allowed to define us, right? And let's not sit here and act as if most accidents are not related to alcohol. We just got police reports last night. Just got more police reports last night where it was happening. You know, we don't need every fine detail of every accident. We know what we've allowed. We know what has become norm. But we have to do better as a culture and a people and a community to say, you know what? We're losing too many.
Way too many. When you can sit up and think of at least 8 people that have been affected, because they've lost loved ones, it's the circles are too small, but we're losing amazing people. You know what I mean? Like people that it I don't know, there has to be, and a lot of it is, I don't know about it's because we get on bikes at such an early age. We feel like we're invincible, right? Sometimes
Mhm.
I see these kids coming past me and I'm just like, "Oh my goodness." Like I really want to chase them down and stop
Mhm.
them and be like, "Hey, hi. I
Mhm.
need you to live."
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know? And I think we also have to, it takes a village. I
Mhm.
think that we should be okay having those conversations. If we see a 16, 17-year-old, like just
Mhm.
pricking their conscience a little bit, like you wanna make it home to your parents,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
Let's go to Instagram, Sancha. Let me read some of these. But you said something earlier that makes a lot of sense too that we don't consider, and you say it a lot on this show, but we never really go into it. And maybe we should revisit this from a legal perspective. Does anyone remember why they changed it from? Remember, it was like 125 or 80 cc, and now it's like more powerful bikes. That like, was it an environmental thing? I know you mentioned.
I think it's more of the fact that times have changed, and so I think it was 100 cc at one point.
Okay.
Like, so we had like 50s, and I think 80s, then it went up to 100.
Mhm,
Now it's 125, right?
mhm,
But I just think that times have changed. So I don't think they're probably making as many bikes in
mhm.
100 cc because it's not as, it doesn't
Okay.
benefit business. So we have 125s, but I don't know. Our roads are really small. We have a lot
Yeah.
of traffic now. It's a big responsibility. Like,
Mhm.
I feel like this is that point where you feel like you're getting old because I'm like,
Speak for
why is
yourself,
it
Vanderpool.
dangerous?
Yeah. No. I agree. I think of young people I know getting bikes all the time, and it's changed. It's very different. Folks, we asked the same question on Instagram, and we'll come to the live audience as well. We'll just revisit some of the Instagram. What will it take to change behavior on our roads? Someone said education for all ages. Education. I think regardless of what it is in life, Sandra, it always comes down to education anyway.
But I do think that they think that they're doing that with Project Ride, right? That's why Project Ride was implemented. And in
But
order,
that's just high school, right?
yeah, but I guess so they missed Project Ride started, I want to say when I turned 16, right?
I didn't do it. Did you do it?
I did it.
Oh,
Hmm.
okay. I
I
never did it.
So I think maybe my year was the first year,
Hmm.
first or second year.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Someone says proper CCTV that can distinguish license plates and or facial recognition. So this is after the fact. But also, if people know that they can be easily caught, then I guess that would deter people. Another person says making the licensing connected to practical training on the roads. Hmm, interesting. Someone said tougher penalties. Who knows? I mean, I just like some research to show if tougher penalties have actually improved behaviors. Um, Someone says, I believe that 10%, 10 to 20% of the population need not be on the road. Well, I mean,
But
opinion.
how do we establish that?
Yeah, who are those people?
Yeah.
Someone said, instead of having police officers hire traffic officers to deal with reckless driving. That's interesting.
I think that can go very left.
That'd be like what's those people called? The parking people?
It would be like that, but then now you're actually interacting with people, right?
Mm, mm.
So that can create a whole nother layer. With the parking attendants, they're not there. They're not like having that
Right.
interaction. So you're just sticking a ticket on a car. So
Yeah.
now you're actually stopping people. That takes a whole different set of
Mm,
skills and training and yeah,
mhm. Someone says culture change. Drinking and driving is too much of the norm. Yeah, we said that.
agree.
Change the laws, harder penalties. So another one who's focused on the law. Someone says, what impact are the states of the roads having on accidents? I think you said that earlier. And we don't discuss that enough. We know, I mean, folks, I I don't know. I said it on this show and on Twitter. Like, I don't know how people on bikes actually speed in Bermuda with the amount. I mean, the roads uneven. It's always some work. So are they having an impact? I mean, were these accidents taking place playing a role?
There has to be some
Mhm,
sort of impact. Like I said,
mhm,
especially at night. I have a hard time during the day. Like
mhm,
I'm at a space now where I actually don't like driving at
mhm,
night, especially if I'm going out. I
mhm,
feel like anything could happen. The other person's drunk, and if they hit me, I
mhm,
like it's stressful.
mhm, mhm,
So there has to be some sort of we have been doing so much
mhm,
digging in the past, what, 5, 6 years, that
mhm.
at some point we're gonna have to just repave the whole road
Yeah,
just to make it a little safer. And if you all want to start digging again, at least we've covered some areas where you dug already.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
I mean, it's something to be considered, Sandra. The accidents could be related to the conditions of the roads. We've been seeing it for a few years now. The roads are not in the best condition. Another person says, I think harsher penalties may be needed. Road users know the rules, but some still insist on being negligent and irresponsible. So much is invested in educating users, but it's up to them to apply it. Another person says, I wonder whether we should be redoing our driving tests every 10 years. Interesting.
That's a
That's
good
yeah.
suggestion.
Until they face the consequences of their actions, they will never learn, and it's unfortunate and innocent. Let's go to the comments live, Sancha. So, you want to start with Tanya Cheeseman?
Yes, the lights on the new cars are blinding. I find that sometimes I have to stop because it interferes with my ability to see properly. I hate driving at night because of them. I agree. I'm on it. I
Yeah.
totally agree.
I actually put something on Facebook a few years ago when I first moved to Florida. I asked, is there some way, because not on the highway so much, because usually they're on the opposite side, but on certain roads where it's not a highway, the lights were blinding me. And I was asking, and I know Gary Moreno, he actually suggested some, he sent me these goggles that I can order. My eyes are just sensitive to light normally. So just the brightness of them, it was really tough. And I don't want to be wearing sunglasses at night. I mean, I'm already suspicious with the color of my skin, and I'm being serious. This is Florida. Angeline Butler says, I think people have so many deep set issues that they are unwilling, to face. And so alcohol, other drugs are so easy to turn to of seeking real help. Then we operate vehicles, sad. So we're not addressing some other trauma, basically, is what I'm getting from that. Karen Simmons says, is it necessary to have vehicles with more horsepower / speed? In my opinion, no. And that's why I asked. I wonder if there's some environmental impact. I don't know, folks. What will it take to change behavior on our roads? Michelle White says, okay, that's a long one, so we'll read it from the. She says, I think it's about education. You may be too young to remember the zebra crossing educational program where every child understood the rules of the road. It's also about understanding the rules of the road. It's understanding that the ability to travel on the road is a privilege, not a right. Education removed from the excuses of reckless driving and forces us to think twice. I love that. And I do remember the zebra crossing. I was wondering if they still did that.
I don't remember it.
Oh, wow. She just called me old, folks. Cherie Dill says, I agree with people tend to still be comfortable with driving after drinking, and expecting inebriated people to exercise good judgment may not be a realistic expectation. Maybe we can improve our public transportation system and have a zero tolerance policy, which requires you to catch a ride if you plan on drinking at all. Zero.
I think that's a great plan. I know a lot of
Yeah.
people, it'll be an uproar,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, we're losing people.
Yeah.
We are losing people. Like if we start looking at, I need someone to do percentages. If we start looking at percentages of like, I don't know, out of 100 people, what's the likelihood of someone, losing their life in a bike accident or any sort of accident in Bermuda at this point? It's high.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think one of the things that Maya brings to our attention often is not just about, you know, losing life, but people have losing limbs, is serious traffic accidents, so much more. And I think we just sometimes highlight the people who are losing their lives. There's so much more to it. Tanya Cheeseman and Sid Dunny for you, Sench.
So Tanya Cheeseman says, Project Ride only reaches those that actually get a license at 16, 17. If you get your license at 18 plus, then what group is there for you?
That's what I was wondering. Okay. That's what I was wondering.
Yeah. We have to get to the root. Why are we drinking so much? Is it mental health? Idle living? Why do youth like to speed, the thrill, and to show off? How can we put that energy into something productive? We can take them now to the race course track.
Yeah, Steve Carena says, follow them home, Sancha. It could have a positive impact. I don't know if it's good for a woman to follow people.
Somebody home.
Yeah, I get your no, Sheikah, I'm got you. I feel you, but I wouldn't want my sister Sandra following her unless she's on the phone with the police.
No, but I think that it has to be that if it was back in the day, my grandmother and her friends would have found out whose child that was. You know what I mean?
That was community work, right?
Yes, back in the day, like
Community.
I miss my grandmother so much. I'm like, I don't know what's going on anymore because they have that phone ringing like just the smallest thing. And we used to think that they were being nosy, but they did keep us safe in so many aspects.
Yeah. Let's go through these last few. Traveling Trotty says, we need data to be shared with the wider community through education to help change behavior. Rebecca Brown says the other issues of bikers and car drivers who are plugged into music as they drive, loud music, so they don't hear what's happening around them. Hey, true story.
AirPods.
No, when I'm backing up, I can't have the music on, I can't have any. I'm got my mirrors, everything, camera. I can. It's weird. I only noticed this about myself a couple weeks ago.
But
I can't listen to anything.
I know in my car, it's like a feature of the car now, so it has to be for a lot of people. When I back up in my car, the music automatically it turns down.
Oh, really?
That's cool. So it has to be something. It's a thing. Has to be a thing. If they've got it automatically in my car, it has to be a thing.
Yeah, people must be distracted, but that's a good point. I mean, again, driving and operating with airports. Here's the thing: every day I'm on the highway, and somebody in front of me is driving, acting the what. I always look into that car, and what do you think I see them doing in that car? Take one guess.
Dancing. I don't know what.
In their phone.
Oh.
We haven't even talked about we have not talked about distracted driving. So I appreciate Rebecca Brown for that comment. Distracted drivers. Traveling Charlie said bartenders have a responsibility to stop serving alcohol to people who've had enough. Do we enforce that? Good question. And then Shikarina said, my mom followed a person home once. I was 10 and so embarrassed, but I remember the parent's face when she told how his son was driving. That's community. It's necessary. It needs to work. Let's take a quick break. Come back with Maya. She'll have more information and data with us. Folks, please share this conversation with your friends, your family, colleagues. It's a lot to take in, but it's necessary, these conversations. I think a lot has been said that can change things. Actually, Tamara McHale says, Jamaica just recently enacted a new road traffic act with stiffer penalties. The government in Bermuda may need to do that as a deterrent. Again, look at what other jurisdictions are doing, see what's worked there. Could it work in Bermuda? Could it improve it? Take a quick break. Come back. Maya Palacio with the Daily Hour News Break brought to you by People. Stick with us. And again, I think I speak for many of us when I say sincerest condolence to the family, friends of the person who we recently lost this weekend.
Get ahead of the summer heat with BAC's pre-summer sale on air conditioners. For a limited time only, you can enjoy a 15% discount on Lortec and Cooper and Hunter AC mini-split AC units, two of the most trusted brands in the industry. Plus, with financing options available, you can make your purchase even more affordable. But don't delay, this offer is only valid through May 31st or while supplies last. Whether you're looking to upgrade your home or office AC units, BAC has got you covered. Stay cool and comfortable this summer with BAC.
People's ACW, located at King Edward VII Memorial Hospital, carries over-the-counter medicines, toys, cards, and even toiletries. Our knowledgeable staff are there whether you're at emergency, visiting family, or a member of BHB staff, to show you our best even when you're feeling your worst. People's ACW, we're here for you.
Welcome to the new bulk store, Lindo's Next Level. Anyplace else.
Mom's celebrating her 70th birthday next month. Have you noticed her age is catching up with her?
Yeah. Plus, she's having a hard time getting up and around like she's used to. I would sure hate to see her fall.
At Medical House Limited, we can help make life situations easier. We have electric beds, motorized scooters, bath stools, walkers, you name it.
Mom's been real good to us. We'll get her birthday and Christmas gifts from Medical House.
Medical House has relocated next to the Dandytown Field, number 6 Bakery Lane, Pembroke. Telephone 292-3622.
Alrighty, welcome back to the big show, Central Durham. I'm Jamel Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy. Folks, don't forget to subscribe on our website and follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we continue to do our part to improve our community. And guess what happened during the break just now? I found my email, folks. I did receive it. I did receive it.
He was
Yes, I did
not
receive it.
letting that sleep.
Yeah, no, I had to refresh my phone and
Okay.
apparently, yeah, it wasn't fresh. So, folks, you should have received the email yesterday. It's a lot of instructions on how you can be eligible. We'll actually start calling names tomorrow. All right. So, give yourself a shot to win a very big prize from our title partner, the BAC Group of Companies. Without further ado, let's bring in Maya Palacio for your daily hour news break.
Good morning. Good morning.
Morning.
Greetings, madam. How are you?
In real terms, I'm feeling really sad and a bit depressed with this island
I
state.
get it. I get it. I get it. And I think the only thing that will really change those feelings is what we spoke about, better behaviors on our road, right? Different results.
Yeah, those are a few changes that we could definitely make.
No. And unfortunately, last night you and I were texting and there were more accidents that came through. So over to you.
Oh, good morning, Bermuda. We're starting this news off quite sad, and I'm going to keep it sad and slow throughout just so we can understand just the gravity of the situation that we have. There's many stories this morning. All of them have to do with road collisions, but I'm hoping that someone give you some really vital information to understand what happens when people actually get into these road collisions. So first up, leading up this morning, a mother mourns the loss of her son, who was killed on the morning of Mother's Day in the Hamilton Parish area around 3 a.m. in what police have identified as a hit and run fatal collision to a 30-year-old man. Now, although the police have not identified the man, friends, family, and admirers of this man have identified him as the deep loss of Marco Warren. Mr. Warren was described by many as an extremely talented footballer, fiercely loved, humble, a magician on the field, and a champion. He was a father, a friend, and so much more to so many people, and his life impacted so many people. The collision, the collision that happened, the police are asking desperately for people who may have had security cameras around the area between 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. to check over your security cameras and see if there's anything there. Also, if you know something, if you heard of something, if you're a resident around there and think that even what you may have heard is like the most minute thing, please tell the police anyway. Talk to an officer that you trust and just get the word out there and speak up if you know something.
And just explain where the area was for those who may not know.
The area was in Hamilton Parish. That's what the report says. There's no exact location there, but we know that the area is in Hamilton Parish.
Okay. Oh boy.
Yeah.
So again, if you, as I tweeted yesterday, if you or someone you know knows anything, it's unconscionable that we can live in such a small community connected by so many people and things. It's unconscionable for us to keep this. And, we've seen over the last decade or so that that's almost become who we are. Like, we don't speak up, we don't say the right thing. And I don't like to say, well, think about if it happened to you. We have to be better than that.
We have to.
We have to be better than that.
It's a very hard loss, and this family is grieving immensely, family and friends. So my heart is with you all. Hit and runs just show how cruel and careless people are. I can definitely say from my experience with Rashay that the person who did hit and run his vehicle were unlicensed and uninsured vehicles. So that seems to also be the case in many hit and runs that we have on the island. Leading up next, as Jamal said, we had so many more collisions afterwards. Here's some images that the police had posted on their social media feeds of what some of the collisions look like over this weekend. One started just on Friday, which was May 12th, around 10 p.m. It appeared that a 30-year-old male driver lost control of the vehicle and struck a boundary wall, which resulted in the vehicle being flipped onto its roof. The driver suffered a minor injury to the nose. It was subsequently arrested on suspicion of driving whilst impaired as well. And then on Saturday at 2:30 p.m. on the 13th of May, there was a two-vehicle road traffic collision reported in Devonshire as well. It was a female motorcycle rider who was traveling along Palmetto Road when she collided with a motor car, which was exiting Parsons Lane, making a right turn east onto Palmetto Road. The motorcycle was extensively damaged, while the motor car was left with damage to the right rear. The female driver and the other 2 occupants of the motor car were not reported to be injured, though, so that is good news. And then we heard about the recent and 5th fatal collision that happened at 3:15 a.m. on Sunday, May 14th, near the junction of North Shore Road and Trinity Church in Hamilton Parish. And those were the updates as of Sunday. Though last night, after that fatal collision, there was another update at 10:15 p.m. on Sunday, which reported a single vehicle collision in Harrington Song Road in the area of Smiths Parish. And the traffic was diverted and the occupants eventually freed the scenes, but EMTs reported no serious injuries, thankfully for that.
The occupants fled the scene. First off, Maya shared 3 pictures in her report just now. Those were 3 different accidents. I actually just want to share this real quickly. So I had a CEO named, I believe his name was Eugene Bean. I think he was the CEO at BAS ASB, which was Bermuda Aviation Services, Aircraft Services Bermuda. That was the job I had right before I left Bermuda for school in 2001. And back then, if you had struck an aircraft at the airport, you were pretty much fired. And he said something in a meeting one time that stuck with me forever. What he said is, accidents don't just happen. Accidents are caused. And I think, sometimes we can be as respectful and considerate on the roads, but there's someone else who may not be. So the emotion that you see from my colleagues this morning, this is real life. This is how it impacts people. This is not, fun or jokes or this too shall pass. This is not politics. None of that. This is real life. This is how it impacts us. And I just want us as a community, I try not to be critical and judgmental of how people live. Just a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about this, probably not even a couple of weeks, last week, Maya, we were talking about it on this show. I think it was Larry, Maya, and myself. And I said, I'm not one to tell people not to hang out late nights or live the life that they want. But I remember, and I said this on this show many years ago when I had interviewed Marsha Jones, the mother of the late Sunday Jones, and I remember saying nothing good happens late nights, early mornings. And I don't want that to come across as like, oh, people should be inside. People have to work. People want to enjoy life. Maybe that's the only time they can do things. But they should not be less safe because other people choose to be reckless. They should not feel less safe because of inconsiderate behavior of our fellow peers. Like this is not good. We have a small community. It is a small community. I'm not quite sure we understand how small Bermuda is until we put things into per capita at times. But it's a small community. We gotta do better. We can do better.
Listen, hearing that news report, like as a mother, you know what I mean? Like the young man, do not know him personally. So it's not like I sat here and got overwhelmed because I know this person personally. I know his sisters, I know his mother, and just to be in that position, to wake up on Mother's Day, like he has a small child that is going to grow up without him. His sisters, they're amazing. I watched these kids grow up. It's heartbreaking to me that they have to go through that. Like, it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart.
Yeah. I just want to continue on with just some statistics. I know that I've shared them before and I've mentioned them before, everyone, but here it is again for you guys. Just the fatal collisions that we've had in Bermuda so far for 2019, 2022. As we know now in 2023, we are at 5. We're at 5 fatal collisions now for this year. And then when you look at the serious injury collisions, these are the reports here from 2019 to 2022. And just realizing that serious injury collisions normally mean the people that go into ICU because it's that serious. This doesn't account for just regular, smash hit type accidents where everyone goes away unscathed. These are the ones where people have to go into ICU and changes are going to be happening. Changes are drastically going to be happening. Some other further stats, if you can see here, this one came straight from the recent statistics allowed for the Bermuda Police Service, but these ones are quite old because they're in 2020, but this gives you a viewpoint of what it's like to have collisions in full in the thousands, meaning not just the serious injury collisions, like the minor injuries as well. So this is what you're looking at here in the years from 2016 to 2020, as you can see at the bottom. Road traffic collisions, 14,000 to 1,250, and so on and so forth. And so because of, let's say, if you could imagine that there were only 7 fatalities in 2020, which is still high, but in 2021, we had about 17 road fatalities. So the number of road traffic collisions, you can imagine, probably in the 2000s in 2021 in Bermuda, because it has spiked so drastically.
It's interesting, and I just keep it in consideration. Obviously, in 2020, it should have been lower because Q2 we were locked down and many people weren't able to get out. So I think while those numbers were lower and it's something to be happy about, we still the fact that we were locked down helped. And I say this in jest, but do they need to lock us down and give us a curfew so that we can save ourselves from each other?
You know what I think it also is? You touched on a bit, Jamal, and I haven't really gone in depth of my thought process on it, but our culture as well, but not just the regular culture of what we do. We like to drink and party, and there's nothing else that we can necessarily do, as some people have stated. But the fact that our work culture too, this is globally, but also in Bermuda as well. Like you said, after work, what can people do other than drink? But if we didn't have if the world didn't have this need for everyone to work 9 to 5, 5 days a week, and taking the huge chunk of our lives out just to work and not do anything else with our time, capitalist society, then it really shifts what we do as a people to find that happiness. It really, like, the way the whole world works makes things happen the way it happens. It's not on accident how we decide to live our lives.
Oh, and again, she's going in a place that I'm glad she's going, because I think even as an entrepreneur, one of the things, I've noticed is, we have to work to eat, but we shouldn't have to kill ourselves where the first thing we want to do is go and inebriate ourselves or feel, give us something to make us feel a bit different because of this. I'm a firm believer in, I don't favor the 9 to 5 ideals of yesterday. I always question who made that normal, where we spend more time working for someone for a living than we do with our families, right? Most of the time we spend with our families, we're asleep, right? We're not even engaged and so on. So I do think that plays a role. And it's something that if we're serious about relooking at things, then some jurisdictions have tried the 4-day work week and different, things. I think it is time to do that. The only thing I've realized is nothing changes unless we do. And we have to, who's the people that can make those changes? I mean, I hate to go there and say this during this conversation, but they changed something like implementing minimum wage, not even realizing how many people it affects or not. So we have to get people in position who are willing to actually look at things that we're concerned about rather than changing things because they sound good, right? How will it impact businesses coming to Bermuda? It is something that we need to look at, because the lifestyle of work, drink, I was one of those. After work, the thing that saved me was when I started coaching, because now I wasn't going to the bar after work. I was going to coach the young boys. That's what helped me.
A shift. Okay, so my next story coming up, I actually had a conversation with Dr. Taylor, and he does work in neurocritical health in Boston, Massachusetts. And he spoke to me about what happens when someone actually gets into a collision and then the effects that happens to the brain, especially if they're sent immediately to ICU. And I know a lot of times we don't think about these things when we are riding and driving, and if we get in an accident, what happens next? So just a fair caution, because he does go into some details that might be uncomfortable for people to hear, but it is just, I think, it's vital information. This is a short clip of our full interview that I will be producing tomorrow, but here's a bit of it. A little bit about, let's say, specific cases where road collision, but is immediately taken into ICU, and then the recovery from those type of patients, road collision ICU patients, and what the recovery is like for them.
Yeah, absolutely. So typically when patients suffer a TBI in relation to a motor vehicle collision, the mechanism of injury is typically high speed. So there's a lot of forces involved, and that can lead, even in the case of folks who are helmeted or seat belted, that it can lead to blows to the head that are strong enough that it can cause not only cuts or lacerations to the scalp externally, but can lead to skull fractures and then bleeding inside the brain. And when that type of severe TBI occurs, then the reason that folks come into the ICU in that scenario is because oftentimes they're unable to breathe on their own because of the burden of trauma, or, and especially from the brain perspective, there can be secondary injury that develops after that initial accident. So things like brain swelling or further bleeding or elevated pressure inside the brain and the skull can cause further damage to the brain. And so the reason to bring someone into the ICU is to really be poised and prepared to treat that if and when that arises in the days after that initial injury.
So what are some of the steps that, doctors like yourself have to take, or even the patient themselves, after such a traumatic brain injury?
Well, the first thing, of course, is the ABCs, which is stabilizing the airway and circulation. If you can't if someone has suffered a severe TBI, but you can't keep their blood pressure up, or they're not able to keep the oxygen levels and their breathing in the normal range, that in and of itself will worsen the traumatic brain injury. So that's the first and primary goal when someone has suffered a trauma that involves the brain. Then when they come into the ICU, the focus is really to treat the amount of swelling and brain edema that can occur, and there are a number of ways to do that. There are medications that you can give through the IV that help shrink the brain and relieve some of that pressure. But in situations where that is ineffective, then we work with our neurosurgical colleagues, and they can take patients to the operating room, and in some cases either remove the skull to relieve the pressure, or they can open the skull, go in, and remove some of the blood that has accumulated inside the brain to try and limit the damage.
Just trying to visually see that as you're saying that, because I know that a lot of people don't think about everything that can happen when you're speeding, you get into collisions and things of that nature. So can you talk a little bit about your patients who have gone through that process, and maybe how they've come out on the other side? Like, how long do they believe it takes for them to recover, and do they ever feel like themselves again?
Maya, again, someone said this to me, and it may have been Dr. Johnson, but I was having a conversation 2009, 10, and they made the reference that one of the things we don't understand is how flimsy our bodies are and our organs. Meaning, think of a bottle that drops and just cracks and is in its tiny pieces. said, you're driving at a certain speed and something hits you or you strike it. That's your body. That's the bones in your body. That's the way that he was telling me to look at it. And it really helped me understand that, you know, we're not invincible. And again, we can drive or ride as defensive as we want, but it doesn't have to be anything we're doing. When are you gonna when where and when can we see that full conversation?
I will have it out tomorrow. I'll have hopefully 2 separate videos, one of that full one and another of just a compilation of different statistics that I found over the years. You know, our road fatalities. I remember I did show you guys like the gender and the parishes that the recent road fatalities we've had this year. I'm going to try to have that done for 2021 and 2022 as well, so everyone could just see these statistics, because maybe it'll be helpful in some way to know what parish it normally happens in, or even the age range that it happens in. And, you know, seeing that can probably, you know, spark interest in you to maybe talk to the people in your family who fit that criteria, that it is very common for them. So just to, like, you know, just getting more information out there. So tomorrow, I don't have a set time yet. It's when I'm able to finish, but it will be tomorrow, and I will let everyone know.
All right, thank you for that.
My last thing on the news today is that there's actually the opening statement for the Bermuda Road Safety Council today at City Hall at 12 p.m. I'm going to try my best to be there during my lunch break to ask some questions. I did send some questions and queries to the Bermuda Road Safety Council last night, just about, you know, reiterating things that they do in order to support and help the community. So hopefully I get a response by today to have it on my news break when I'm here on Wednesday, but I will be there today as well. And anyone is welcome to come to City Hall 12 p.m. to hear the opening statements of the Road Safety Council in regards to the Road Safety Week.
Okay, thank you. And how's the weather looking today?
Says it's looking dry and bright today, so that's some decent news. There might be a little bit of winds later on, and we have a high of 73 degrees.
All righty, Sanja, give us something good. What is the day of the year?
So today is International Family Day. Get ready for a love-filled adventure with family. Spend time with your nearest and dearest, create memories, and make the most of life's precious moments. Join in on the fun and celebrate a core unit of every society, the family. Even though families may be complex and diverse, they are still vitally important. Whether a family is defined as a group of people that a person is born into or something acquired along the way, International Family Day is here to recognize the importance of having a tribe of people to walk through the world with.
Yeah, I like that. I think we're family now. I mean, you guys have broken me down.
You know, he says that, right? But Maya, one of the first conversations I had with Jamal, like business-wise, it was like, we do not call people family. This is
yeah.
don't call family. And now
Yeah.
slowly he's like putting his toe in the water, like
Yeah.
you.
You broke me down. No, I mean, you two, indeed. Sherry, I give the hardest time because Sherry and I's reports just like we've known each other since children. And then it's like, Sancha, I turn to her for pretty much everything business. Maya's like, I trust Maya with everything when it comes to media. So it's like, these lot have me out past time, but I will say it. I think we have developed a family-like atmosphere on the team, and I appreciate that. You know, we do have that trust. We may not be blood, but I think we have a connection. And just doing our part to have conversations like today, allow our emotions to flow, and try to give Bermuda some direction, at least, as to how we can improve our community. So I'm grateful for you guys. And to my blood family, I have to say this. It was my father's birthday yesterday, so happy belated to the old man. You know, I always tease him. You know, I say every few years you don't have a birthday because it's on Mother's Day, right? So he had a birthday yesterday. So happy belated. If you see him, show him some love, and his another year wiser. That's what I'll say. Few comments before you head out, Maya. Misha Fabla says, I think the lockdown has increased the traffic collisions. The roads were relatively empty for most of the year. People's driving habits changed. That's interesting. Kathy Rogers says, I agree with you, Maya. It's much more to life than work. We should start with living a simple life. We have to work harder because of the price of living here. People are working to survive. I'll say reality. I think I'm glad you said. I think it is one big connection. I'm telling you. Teray Tull says, Bermudians have always been reckless on the road. Maybe COVID worsened conditions, but we've always struggled to address our cultural habits on the road and / with alcohol. And Kathy Rogers says, well done, Maya. Appreciate you. Tamara McHale, before we hit the break, says, you're right, Jamal. A year ago, my car was totaled in a crash and I was just on my way to work. So some people are reckless, even if you're being safe. Lucky I got out with a few scratches. Be safe. And yes, we're glad you got out. She's right. No matter how safe you are defensive, it could happen. So we just ask that people be considerate. We don't like having these conversations. Like you can see by the emotion today, we don't like it, folks. We don't. And we want to do our part. If there's anything that you think we can do on this show, if you think there's, actions that we can take off the air, let us know. We're open to them, because the last thing we want to do is continue saying condolences because of something that happened on our roads. Maya, anything before you go, Maya?
Just be safe and take a lot of pictures today of you and your family. Because literally, like someone tweeted the other day, and that's all I thought about whenever Shay died, is like, all you have left is pictures and videos. That's really all you have left. So take your pictures and smile, be happy, and just be safe.
Yeah. Maya Palacio, folks, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back to wrap this show up. Don't go anywhere. I'll just read the instructions one last time. For those who would like to win one of the 2 prizes from the BAC group. Stick with us.
Get ahead of the heat and save 15% on Lortec and Cooper and Hunter AC units during BAC's pre-summer sale. Financing is available and the offer is good through till May 31st or while supplies last.
Hi, welcome to ER Fisheries. I'm Jalen Steed, store manager and trained chef, and I'm here to help you with all of your food needs. Let's talk about why you should come and check out ER Fisheries. We offer the widest range of specialty meats and seafood items at a price point that will absolutely fit your budget. As a chef, I'm able to answer all of your food questions, help you come up with meal ideas, and generally guide you in the right direction. You'll get a custom shopping experience unlike any other food store in Bermuda, where we'll cater to your needs and provide you with excellent customer service. Where else can you get quality cooking advice and quality products? I look forward to helping you with all your meal ideas.
Bermuda, get ready for the official summer starter. DJ Rusty G presents Flag Invasion. I have a big flag. The Sunset Edition. Much more than just a party. This is an outdoor festival happening Saturday, May 20th at Port St. Catherine. Doors open at 6 p.m. 3 stages. One epic event featuring an all-star lineup of international entertainers. DJ Rusty G.
Yo, Rusty G here, inviting everybody out to Fort St. Catherine. It's gonna be crazy.
Just Jay.
Yo, what's up, Bermuda? This is Just Jay from Barbados. May 20th, I will be on your shores. It's all about Flag Invasion.
Ricky Platinum.
Yo, hear me a say no. From here, the voice, you don't know, so Ricky Platinum on top. Bermuda, May the 20th, Ricky Platinum live.
DJ Quest.
Yo, Bermuda, check in. DJ Quest from the 268 Antigua. I'll be there May 20th for Flag Invasion.
Shep Beats.
Yo, what up, Bermuda? This is DJ Shep Beats, the London Governor out of Barbados. See you guys real soon at Flag Invasion.
And Fire Wayne.
Yo, it's your boy Fire Wayne. Flag Invasion, I'll be there.
Also featuring Bermuda's finest DJs, Mr. Genius, DJ iBreeze, Marky T, Young Gun Sound, DJ Maestro, Jim Brown, Corey Miners, E.T. Flavor, DJ Young Sai, DJ Derek, and DJ La Jefa. Get your tickets online right now at djrustyg.com. Sponsored by Cockspur Rum, Stoli Vodka, Wicked, and Carrot Beer.
All right, welcome back to the big show. Sencha, Duran, myself, Jamal Hartman. Thanks again to Maya Palacio for that information that she gave us. I just want to say, folks, if you appreciated the conversation and the discussion, you felt it was helpful, please share it. Please like the video. Follow us if you don't already, but share it with your friends, family, and colleagues. Today was probably the most emotional conversation we've had, and I really think the more we share it, the more we engage it, the more people will feel some sense of accountability and what they can do as individuals to help the situation that we're living in. So again, give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Thanks again to the BAC group of companies, Medical House Lindos and People's Pharmacy, for their support that allows us to have these community conversations. It's time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Bermuda Trivia, now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. Sancha, it's a Who Said It. Are you ready?
Okay, yes.
Okay. All right. Quote, a lot of people say they want to be great, but they're not willing to make the sacrifices necessary to achieve greatness. End quote. It's the NBA playoffs. This person has missed the most shots in the history of the NBA.
No, I don't. You're giving me stats. I don't know.
So the person, let's see. Once I said that, somebody got it. No, definitely not LeBron.
Definitely not LeBron.
Red Fox. No, not Shaq. Not Michael Jordan. Not Michael Jordan. So the person who's missed the most shots in the history of the National Basketball Association was Kobe Bean Bryant. Kobe Bean Bryant. He said, quote, a lot of people say they want to be great, but they're not willing to make the sacrifices necessary to achieve greatness. Kobe Bryant. Yeah. I'll tell you what, Michael Jordan had a quote where he said, he missed more shots than he made. Right. And it didn't take away for his greatness because he kept shooting. Right. So Kobe, many don't know him for having, that record. Right. But it didn't define him, is the point. Your failures won't define you if you keep going and keep going and keep going. Sandra, final thoughts on today's conversation before we do daily inspiration. Obviously, it's very emotional and tough, but you're a champ. You Maya, you're champs. You push through, and again, this show exists for these days.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
We started out just talking about it, but then when you put it into context and then you actually put a name and a person to the situation, like, as I said, being a mother, and watching these girls grow up from young, it's just like, oh my God, I can't, I just want to wrap my arms around them right now and hold them, and comfort them. I think that with our roads and what's going on our roads, I think that we need to give ourselves a fighting chance by helping to correct some of the things that I spoke about initially, like the horrible road conditions. If we can at least let's address that, so we can't say, hey, our road conditions are horrible and it could be contributing to it. Let's make sure that it's not contributing to it. We need to take our time. Even now, like, I'm realizing there's cruise ships, there's tourists on islands. So my drive back in March is not my drive today. And I get frustrated, Jamal. And I find myself like I have to talk to myself because I do want to overtake and get faster. And, and it's like, Sancha, you will get there. And this is a lesson for you. You actually need to leave another 20 minutes earlier because it's a lot more traffic on the road and we have to be mindful of it. It takes a village, as I said, and we need to start figuring out who these kids are. These dark visors don't help, but figuring out who these kids are to just and if someone says something to you like, hey, I saw your kid riding reckless, or let's not be that parent that's not my kid, don't talk about my kid. You know what I mean? Like, accept that. Take it in. You know what? Thank you. Thank you for letting me. I'll talk to him.
Yeah.
Make it a little easier for us to be a community.
I love that. Seriously,
Yeah.
it's important.
Yeah. And like I said, condolences to families that have lost people on these
Yeah.
roads.
Yeah.
My heart breaks for you.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to repeat everything I said earlier or what you said, but I think that behavior should be easy to change. Unless there's an actual addiction, things should be easy to change. And I think as a community, we need to take a very hard look at ourselves and see what it is that we can do better to improve what it is that's impacting our community, that to the point that we have to say condolences to someone because of such tragedies. Um, I don't think we should be waiting on until something impacts us directly to want to do something to help the situation. So my hope is that, again, sending love, comfort, and healing energy to the family of the latest road victim, and let's hope that we can go slower. There's no reason a car's not going to flip if you're sober or going slow. It's just not going to happen unless there's something faulty with a vehicle. Accidents don't just happen; they're caused. And we, as the operators of these vehicles, need to do better. Just want to say real quickly before Sanjit gives the daily inspiration, we did announce 2 ways that you can win one of 2 remote control for AC units that are compatible with all males and models, can either be mounted or on the wall or not. You should have received the email from the Daily Hour yesterday at about, everyone saying 1:06 p.m. Bermuda time. So we'll announce the first person who's going to be eligible to win tomorrow during tomorrow's show. Sanjit, do you have any daily inspiration for us before we head out?
Ideal Daily Inspiration is brought to you by ER Fisheries. Love life, engage in it. Give it all you've got. Love it with a passion, because life truly does give back many times over what you put into it.
I love that.
That's Maya Angelou.
Fitting. I love it. Folks, don't forget to subscribe on our website and follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC Group of Companies, Mediquals, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy, for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. She's Sencha Durham. I'm Jamal Hartman. Please make it a safe and a great day. We're out.